I feel like Tom Atkins is finally getting a little bit of um love from elsewhere, but
It's
it's still just interesting how it fits into the narratives of like, and don't get me wrong, I love Grime Myers. Grime Myers, like I'm still tossing it up, but I think Grime Myers is in my votes this week, so I'm not in
mm,
any way dissing Grime Myers. But they do whole segments on Grime Myers in the
yeah.
like recap and the days following. They'll do segments on how
Mm,
like and this is why he gets so many. It was Matthew Lloyd that was saying that it was like he gets so many goal assists and score involvements. They don't mention Tom Atkins, and Tom Atkins had more goal assists and equal score involvements to Brian Myers. So like it's just one of those things where like nothing against Brian Myers, and he is brilliant, and the way he does it is obviously different to the way Tom Atkins does it. But it's just funny that like the way the kind of the information gets funneled through these preconceived notions. It's like, well, we're going to talk about his score involvements in his part. And if they were to talk about Tom Atkins, I'm sure they'd just talk about the tackling because they go, well, that's what he does, and that's what we like to see. Um, so it's
mm,
just it's sort of a side note. But yeah, I thought Tom Atkins was one of those like tone setters, and he has been for a long time, pretty consistently. But I think this is probably his
mm,
most consistent month of being that of like every game. He's like in if he kicks a goal, it's like one of our first goals, if not our first goal, or he'll kick it against
mm.
the flow of play when we're up against when we got our backs against the walls. He just sort of demonstrates the um the work ethic, the work rate that's required. And I just can't get enough of him performing at this level, really. And I think Max Holmes and Bailey Smith are generally the best player on the ground, but I think they're only the best player on the ground because Tom Atkins allows them to be what he does.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He wouldn't. I don't think Max Holmes is getting the 40 disposals if Tom Atkins isn't there, just being the bull terrier, going after the ball and getting it out to those two players. Like yeah, it's it is a shame that he's not getting more love, but it's is starting to get pretty hard to ignore from the outer
Mm.
AFL world. You'd expect now. Like he's been playing ridiculously good football for the last 2 months. Like it's so incredibly consistent. Tackling still like 10 average, 126 now. Like, it's just an absolute piece of player. And kicking goals. Like, it's
Mm.
just he's a
Yeah.
complete package at the moment, you could say. And yeah, just stupid good. And then yeah, it's just a shame he's getting outshone by these other also incredibly talented players like Ryan Myers, Max Holmes, Bailey Smith, Stengel, and all this. Like
Well,
he's
I
doing
guess
that.
maybe it's not a shame. Maybe it's just a byproduct of it. I just think
Yeah, he's
it's
doing
our
the
duty to fly the flag of Tom Atkins.
he's not doing the flashy stuff, but he's
Mm.
doing the hard stuff, the stuff that when you look back, you go, "Now we wouldn't like." You believe to Max Holmes would not be going, "I'm such a great player because of my talent." He'd be going, "I'm a good player because I've got all these other
Mm.
players around me." And Tom Atkins, who's fishing that ball out from the opposition to give us these opportunities
Yeah.
again and again.
He's averaging 18.7 disposals, 5.6 clearances, and 9.7 tackles a
That's just
game. I'd have to
ridiculous.
assume that's career best in all three of those for him.
It is. Let me just have a look for you. His averages, his previous season best tackles per game was 7.6. So his 2 tackles per game better than that. His previous best clearances was last year. He had 5. Sorry, it was 2023 where he had 5 clearances per game. He's had higher amounts of disposals before.
Hmm.
He's averaged 19.4 before, but I think it's. I actually think you hit the nail on the head previously, Chaps, when you're talking about complete player. Like
Hmm.
his goal assists, he's currently up to 8 goal assists through 13 games. His career high in a season is 10 from last year. So he's going to blow well past that.
Mm.
His previous best goals kicked in a season was 5 back in his debut season in 2019. He's already at 4 goals, 1. for the season. So, he's in range to kick. I know this doesn't sound huge, but like 8 or 9 goals. He's in range to have 15, goal assists or something. Like that is a marked improvement. And I really think, chaps, that the influx of like the new player like Bailey Smith, right? And the addition of players through the draft, when you draft players like Closey Stevens and Jai Clark, all of those players, they're all meant to be contested inside mids. They're all meant to really, in a lot of ways, be coming for Tom Atkins' job. That's the idea. In terms of that's the position they're looking to win over. That's the role. And I just think it's driven Tom Atkins to become the absolute like best version of himself. Like I think it's undoubted that he hasn't played a season like this before. This is career best Tom Atkins footy.
Yeah,
which is pretty exciting.
And knowing all of that, I messaged you before the game, Jake, and said I wouldn't say I was worried not having Bailey Smith, but I certainly did say this will be interesting to see how much we've come to rely on Smith, because I would have believed either. I would have believed the result we got, which is turns out not that much. Bailey Smith is amazing and he's, helping us win games, but he's doing it off the back of the work rate of these other guys we love. So, and it's a system-based team at the moment. These wins are very rarely off the back of one player. They're system-based wins. So it's basically like swapping out a piece and putting in a piece that will be slightly less efficient than Bailey Smith. But I also wouldn't have been shocked if the other thing happened. If he wasn't there, so he wasn't getting his hand on the ball that many times, which just wasn't creating as many opportunities. And we had this frustrating experience that we've had previously in recent memory of stacked back line, stacked forward line, pretty good midfield, but just can't get the connection from back to front. And so I was, as I said, I was very curious to see. And that just turned out to be not the case whatsoever.